Well, hello guys. It's been a hell of a journey. So, how did I go from Florianópolis to Asuncion? I hired a driver to take me across the border with my dog. I paid him around $700 for the whole trip. The trip was about 20 hours altogether. We made it to the border town in Cascavel, the triple border, Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. That's where the waterfalls are, Foz do Iguaçu. Once we got there, we got a hotel for 2 nights. We thought about stopping by in a shopping mall in on Foz do Iguaçu, the border town, to take out some money, but I missed the exit. So we ended up going straight to Paraguay, across the French bridge that connects Paraguay and Brazil. We stopped at a dirty-looking town called Ciudad del Este. And yeah, lots of hustlers, lots of scammers. They charged us $20 for parking, and the deal was if you buy at least two products, 2 perfumes or something in their shop, you don't have to pay for parking anymore. But the cheapest thing that you could buy in their shop is like $50. So forget about it, and then we ended up paying $20 for the parking lot. And the scammer who was running the parking lot had the nerve to ask for a tip. So of course that's not happening. But at least he did provide some useful information. You see, when you go into Paraguay, there is no official entry point. There is no mandatory stop. It's your responsibility to go to the Paraguayan office, border control office, immigration office, and get a stamp. But what if you don't do it? Well, you're welcome to enter Paraguay and drive, but 30 miles away from the border, there will probably be a mandatory stop. If the police stop you, they're gonna extort the hell out of you. The Paraguayan police are crooked. They will insist on getting the bribe. So we had to go through a lot of trouble to get that stamp. But you see, we could not get a stamp in Paraguay. We could not get legal permission to enter Paraguay. Why? Because we did not have our yellow fever vaccination cards. Now, I had my yellow fever vaccine, but I lost my card. So I had no way to prove that I actually had the yellow fever vaccine. Well, now, yeah, my driver, on the other hand, only brought his driver's license. Brazilian driver, he brought his driver's license, but not his passport, not his ID card. So we could just not get the legal permission to go into Paraguay. So we drove over to Argentina. It's a triple border, Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil. So we drove over to Argentina. That took like 30 minutes. They let me in with my American passport. But the driver, well, yeah, he was acceptable only for 72 hours. Then, of course, the Argentine police had questions about the dog, Wova. What about him? Does he have all his vaccines in order? And yes, he did, but he didn't have an international veterinary certificate. And the lady at the immigration post, at the border control post, did not want to let him in. But then I asked for an exception. I asked ever so nicely if she would consider giving us an exemption, granting an exception here, exempting us from these stringent requirements. And she caved. So at least there's that. And then she told my driver that he better return to Brazil after 24 hours or he will have problems. That after all, he only brought his driver's license. He did not bring his passport or his ID card. And he's bringing in a dog into Argentina. That's technically illegal. We spent a night in Argentina. We went out to dinner, and my gosh, Argentina has gotten way, way more expensive. President Javier Milei changed the exchange rate. When Milei was first voted into power in Argentina, when he first took office, the official exchange rate was $1 to 400 pesos. But the black market exchange was 1,000 pesos for $1. So when I went to Argentina, I got a great deal because first I'd pay with my credit card, the bank would charge me at an official rate, then the bank would compare that with the black market rate and refund me the difference. So what Javier Milei did was merged them. Basically, Milei made the official rate resemble the black market rate. Now there is not much of a difference between the black market exchange rate and the official exchange rate. And now inflation affects everybody. Inflation is a problem for both Argentinians and foreigners. Foreigners used to live in luxury in Argentina, and now everything is so overpriced that we paid $160 for dinner. Rather, not even dinner, lunch. We went out to lunch, just had some nice meat, a few beers, and we hung out for 2 hours at the restaurant, and it came out to $160. Jesus, when did Argentina get so pricey? It's like the US level prices. But the adventure doesn't quite end there. The next day we went to the border again, but this time the river Paraná, that separates Argentina and Paraguay. And once more the Argentinian authorities let me out, but my driver was not given permission to leave the country because he does not have a passport. He did not bring a passport and ID card, so the Argentinian immigration officers told him that he was in the country illegally, and that he is not going to get the permission to go to Paraguay. He's not going to be let out of Argentina this way. He was told that he had to get back in his car and drive out of Argentina, back into Brazil, exactly the same way that he came in. So I had to go to Paraguay alone, and then I gave my driver 100 reals so he would take my dog back to Brazil and then across the Friendship Bridge and into Paraguay. So I'd go to Paraguay by boat, he would go by land. When I finally arrived in Paraguay, it was a 10-minute border crossing. They gave me my stamp, no problem, no vaccination requirements, nothing. I took a taxi back to Ciudad del Este, and I called the driver, and he said that he was stuck in traffic, that he wanted me to walk across the bridge back into Brazil, walk from Paraguay to Brazil, and the bridge is like a mile long. So I did that and scorched in heat, like 100 Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius. I finally found him in Foz do Iguaçu, and we met up for lunch, and we then were trying to rack our brain to figure out how the hell are we going to go to Asuncion together, because now I had my permission to be in Paraguay, but he did not. So we went to the Brazilian immigration authorities to ask for help, ask for advice. And the Brazilian immigration officer said, well, in Paraguay they bite, meaning there is this phrase, mordida, in Spanish and Portuguese, this word mordida, which means bite. The Paraguayan immigration authorities bite, they take bribes. And we went over the Friendship Bridge again, back into Paraguay. Now we now already walked for over 2 miles, and the driver explained the situation to the Paraguayan authorities, and they, surely enough, they took the bait. They bit him. They told him that for 300 reals, $60, they will overlook the fact that he doesn't have his passport and he doesn't have his yellow fever vaccine. They would just give him his immigration papers and let him into the country as if nothing ever happened. So we did that. We were now both legal in Paraguay, allowed to stay in Paraguay for up to 90 days. And we went on driving to Asuncion for 5 hours. Fortunately, nobody stopped us. And on his way back, they did stop him. His papers were in order. Had he not had his immigration papers, he would have been out of luck completely. Anyhow, here I am in Villamora, Asuncion, nice little coffee shop. The richest part of Paraguay, where the president himself probably lives, where all the Paraguayan elites spend their time. This is not a third world country. When you look at this, you look around, you're not going to get the sense that you are in Paraguay. This may as well be Europe. All right, I will keep you updated. Thanks so much for watching. We're over 100 subscribers now, guys. Thank you for your support and your loyalty. You'll be hearing from me again soon. Ciao.